Hello everybody, I'm Miss Hayden and we are doing story time at the Bartlesville Public Library. Virtual story time that is, I should say. Well, I think you guys know what we do first. I heard it. We do the welcome song. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? How are you today? I hope everybody's good. We're going to do 2 stories and songs like normal. You guys can't see the violets over here like normal. So we're going to start off with Old Mama Squirrel. And it's by David Ezra Stein. I think he did the pictures too, probably. Old Mama Squirrel had raised many babies. Mark my words, she'd say, there's no shortage of creatures that would love to snack on a baby squirrel. But it won't happen on my watch. Whenever danger approached, Mama Squirrel went into action. Chook, 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 she'd say, get away from my babies. Chook, 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 get out of my tree. No one could scold like old Mama Squirrel. The cat or owl that ran afoul of her would slink off, looking for some easier meal. One day, while the babies were taking a nap, a nosy dog came sniffing around. Mama Squirrel clattered in the high branches. Chook, chook, chook. She chattered in the low branches. Chook, chook, chook. She scrabbled right upside down while she scolded that dog. Chook, chook, chook. This squirrel is crazy, said the dog. They must put crazy powder in the nuts around here. Help! And that takes care of that, said old Mama Squirrel. Mama Squirrel did not limit herself to known predators. She scolded kites, chook, 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 and airplanes, chook, chook, chook. She even scolded the man who came to prune the tree. Chook, chook, chook. And that takes care of that, said old Mama Squirrel. One afternoon, while the babies were having a scamper on a high branch, a great growling grizzly bear came to town and climbed into Mama Squirrel's tree. Mama Squirrel sprang into action. Chook, 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 get out of my tree. Chook, 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 get away from my babies. She clattered in the high branches and chattered in the low branches as she scolded that bear. And she pelted him with last year's nuts. Plunk! The bear was shocked, but then he laughed. Wah-ha-ha! Why should I listen to one puny squirrel like you? I'll eat your whole family tree. A twitch of fear went through old Mama Squirrel's whiskers. But then she clenched her jaw. Not on my watch, Buster, said old Mama Squirrel. She scooped up her babies and went to raise the alarm. chook, chook, chook by the fire escape, chook, chook, chook under the tracks, chook, chook, chook in the tops of the trees, chook, chook, chook all over the park. The grizzly was just sticking his nose into Grandpappy Squirrel's nest hole when old Mama Squirrel got back. Chook, 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 said old Mama Squirrel. Chook, 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 said 20 other Mama Squirrels. Chook, 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 said 100 more Mama Squirrels. And they scolded him high and scolded him low and threw old nuts at him until he ran away and never came back. And that takes care of that, said old Mama Squirrel. The people of the town were grateful to old Mama Squirrel. They even put up a plaque on the spot where she scolded the grizzly. If you're ever in town, you should go see it. Chook, 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 if you can get anywhere near it. That was old Mama Squirrel. Next, we're gonna do songs. Grabbing the viola like normal. Everybody knows what song we start with. That's right, Twinkle. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Now you guys are gonna sing while I play. Good. What do you think we're going to sing next? I think we should sing about some speckled frogs. We're going to do two frogs. Two little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into a pool where it was nice and cool. Now there is just one Now there is just one speckled frog. Croak, croak. Frogs are back in the pond. And we gotta do, if you're happy and you know it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. And now you guys do what you want. Very good. Did you clap your hands again? You might have. Okay. School's been going on for a while, but I think we should still ride that bus. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town. And now you choose what you sing next. And lastly, I think we should do the alphabet song. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? You guys are gonna sing. Okay. Putting that back down. We have one more story. It's a little long, but I think it's good. Little Frog and the Scary Autumn Thing by Jane Yolen and illustrated by Helen Shee. Frogs love green. Green water, green lily pads, green leaves, green. But autumn had come to the pond, turning everything red and gold. To Little Frog, red and gold were scary. They were the colors of hot sun and cold blood. She sat on a green lily pad and contemplated the trees. Half of them were now yellow. 2 of them were orange. 1 was a bright red. All the rest were still green, sort of. She had never seen such a thing before. She was only a little frog, and it was her first fall. Little Frog shuddered. Mama Frog jumped up next to her, which made the lily pad sway. Little Frog usually loves such swaying, but she was still shuddering, so the lily pad shuddered too. Be brave, Little Frog, said Mama Frog. Most things that are scary are only just new. You need to see what they are all about. Listen to their voices. Once you know them, they aren't scary anymore. That was certainly puzzling. Little Frog herself was Little Frog herself was pretty new, and she wasn't scary, but she always listened to Mama Frog. So that day in early October, Little Frog decided to try to be brave and see what red and gold were all about, and orange. She hopped back into the water, the dark green water, and began to swim. Her heart was going bumpity-bump, as did the backstroke and the side stroke and some frog battling too. But she made it to the shore. Brave Little Frog. She stuck one toe into the brown dirt. After green, Little Frog loved brown the best. Brown is soft and comfortable and familiar. She took one step and another, though now her heart was going bumpity-bump and thumpity-thump. Brave, brave Little Frog. Then Little Frog hopped a bit down the twisty path going toward the wood that was so full of red and gold and orange. She wasn't sure about orange. Brave, brave, brave Little Frog. Suddenly, a wind whooshed through the trees. Leaves began to rain down. Red leaves, yellow leaves, orange leaves, scary leaves in scary colors, making a scratchy, scratchy noise. Little Frog hopped this way, ran that way, spun about, fell down, ran again. She wasn't being very brave now. By the time she stopped hopping, running, spinning, and falling down, Little Frog was lost. Horribly, miserably, totally lost. Besides, her right leg hurt. There was a little scrape on her knee and a spot of red blood. She shuddered again. Suddenly, she wasn't so sure about red. It was dark in the woods, except for those patches of red and gold, and orange, and purple as well. She was absolutely not sure about purple. Strange sounds came from everywhere. Scary sounds. Whir, chirr, baroom. Little Frog didn't feel very brave anymore. All she felt was scared. But then Little Frog listened more closely, just as Mama Frog had told her to. Whir! That was the voice of the wind through leaves. Chirr! That was the voice of a squirrel up a tree. Baroom! That was the voice Papa Frog used in the spring. All friendly sounds she knew. But everything was strange indeed, because it wasn't spring. It was autumn, and autumn was scary. Baroom! Frightened all over again, Little Frog looked for the sound. And there, sitting on top of a huge pile of red and gold and orange, and yes, even purple, leaves, was Papa Frog himself, singing his spring song, even though it was a scary autumn day. Come up, said Papa Frog. Think of the leaves as a lily pad. Well, they didn't look like a lily pad. They weren't the color of a lily pad, but Little Frog tried to imagine them that way. She climbed up the pile, thinking green, 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 all the way to the top, even though the red and gold and orange and purple leaves were scratchy, scratchy underfoot. Then she sat down by Papa Frog right on top of the leaves, as if that pile was really a lily pad. There, boomed Papa Frog, that wasn't so bad now, was it? For a while, Little Frog thought about how bad it was. Then she thought how the leaves were actually crispy, how they were gold like the rising sun, orange like the sky at dawn, and red like the sky at sunset. She still wasn't sure about purple. She thought about how autumn leaves made a tickly sound in the wind. They weren't scary at all, only new. Papa Frog was right. Mama Frog was right. Not so bad, she said to Papa Frog. Not the red and orange and gold, he said. She noticed he didn't mention purple. Then Little Frog and Papa Frog slid down the pile together with red and gold and orange and even purple leaves sliding down all around them. It was so much fun. Little Frog climbed up and slid down again and again. Red and gold and orange are not scary at all, said Little Frog. Not when you really get to know them. Papa Frog looked at the pile again. And purple's not scary either, he said. Only new. At last, arm in arm, Little Frog and Papa Frog happily hopped and danced all the way home to the pond where Mama Frog had made a fresh shoe-fly pie for dinner, something all three of them knew well. It was still hot, just the way they liked it best, and even better, inside it was all green. That was Little Frog and the scary autumn thing. Well, we have done our 2 stories and songs, so it's time to wrap up. I just want to remind everybody that we do virtual story time here on the Bartlesville Public Library page, Mondays at 11 a.m. And then there's in-person story time. That is Wednesday and Thursday, 10 and 11 a.m. And those are in the story time room. So we do story times 5 times a week. Well, we will see you again next week for virtual story time. I hope everybody has a good week. I'm going to also check these books in if anybody wants to check them out. I'll see you later. Bye!